All right, fam, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence when buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, we're going to be hopping in the charts, facts, and data for you today. Now, I do apologize if this video is a little low energy. I am a little bit under the weather today, as anyone will know that did follow my stream. Now, GME warrants got a little bit of a pop here in after hours, just a slight upside right now here in after hours. GME up slightly as well. Now, I told you guys I believe that GME is going to hold $22. We did come down, bouncing off of that 2201 support, coming down to a low of 2196, and then getting a sharp bounce back to the upside. It looks like GME is going to be able to hold this level and start moving back to the upside as expected. So I am thinking that GME is potentially bottoming out here. We have multiple gap fills to the upside. We filled the gap fills to the downside, and this looks good for a overall recovery, like I was saying in the weekly outlook and prediction. Now, like I said in the weekly outlook and prediction, we might have to come down a little bit more, but I believe we're going to hold 22, and it looks like that is the case. Now, if we did lose 2201, you would definitely see a move down towards like $21.50, $21. And AMC, if it lost 250, then you would see like 245, 240. Now, I believe that both of the meme stocks are going to hold these key levels. AMC holding key level of 250 and GameStop holding the key level of 2201. But if the market has an overall correction down, which could be coming soon, so even if you don't hold SPY, you might want to be checking on SPY. The sell algorithms, people panicking, day traders taking profits, mainly the sell algos kicking in because of SPY and NASDAQ pulling back, could have the overall meme stocks pull back and lose their key levels of support. Now, there is a chance that we do decouple from the market or we move against the market. There's always that chance, especially if you were to see some type of rally or something like that. If we were to get margin calls would occur though if SPY is absolutely capitulating. Now, we are seeing potential signs that liquidity is drying up in the background, and this could be a good sign for a type of environment that margin calls could actually occur. All right, so as you guys can see, we got this over the weekend. So reverse repo is something that a lot of AMC people look at, but other people look at as well in the stock market. This is money that's getting loaned overnight, and this happened over the weekend. You guys can see that the reverse repo went absolutely crazy. We had this huge explosion in banks and people, financial institutions borrowing money to stay liquid over this weekend. Then we got this article coming out. So that happened on Saturday. Then we had this article come out here on Sunday. All right. You guys can see that liquidity is definitely drying up in the background, and this is definitely an issue. Now, you can also see that AMC and GME's cost to borrow is starting to rise, a potential sign that liquidity in the meme stocks themselves is also potentially starting to dry up. Now, this is nowhere where we need to be, but it is moving up and moving in the right direction. You guys can see 0.57% here on AMC, and for GME, it's at 0.77%, coming as high as 1.40%. If it would have stayed above that 1% level, that is definitely very bullish. We want to see cost to borrow continue to move up. This is looking good. 2.4 million short shares here at time of recording for GME, and AMC is at 3.8 million. Also, AMC's dark pool volume today topped out. Well, it didn't top out, but it closed at 76%. We've been seeing dark pool volume slowly increasing and getting higher and higher and higher, as high as 85 and almost 90% at some points in time. So this is definitely major. Something is definitely going on, and we're starting to see potential liquidity dry up across the market in general. This could set up for a position where margin calls could actually occur. Now, also when AMC and GME get low, this is normally a time where they start to move up, and they can move up rapidly. You guys can see just back here in history, when we dropped down to this 238, we got this nice pop to the upside. And recently, when we dropped down to about 245, we got this nice pop to the upside. It's here. GME, same story. GME, if you go ahead and look at the chart, you guys can see that GME came down to a low of about 9.95 and then got this pop to the upside as well. So when the meme stocks are low, that's when you could see potential rallies to the upside, especially when they've been beaten down over quite some time. And both of the meme stocks have been in an overall downtrend since they topped out from their last recent rally. Again, GME went as high as 28.30, and then AMC went as high as a 3.18, and then they've been in a downtrend for quite some time. It looks like we're going to try to bottom from these downtrends and push up. We just want to be aware that if the market crashes, you could see some residual downside for the meme stocks, but it could put us in a position where you could potentially see margin calls. But again, I wouldn't be wishing for the downfall of everything because it would still cause some pain in the meme stocks. But unfortunately, I do think SPY is starting to top out here, and we're going to see at least a decent correction before potentially either moving to the upside or going into a deeper bear market. So this is what we're looking at for AMC and GME. I think we are going to hold. I think AMC is going to hold 250. It looks like it's going to try to push for 260 tomorrow. And if it's able to hold 260, then we could see a pop up towards 267. GME, we want to see back above 2252. If GME is able to get back above 2252, then we could see it move up towards 2281 and $23. RSI is getting low right now, so if we did see some more downside, I believe that buyers would be stepping in, and this is why I believe that the meme stocks are going to be able to hold the key levels that I'm telling you about, as long as SPY doesn't absolutely dump. But if SPY starts to capitulate, that could set up a position where you could see margin calls on the shorts that are short for AMC and GME. This is what I'm looking at for AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market and show you guys what's going on there and why I think we could see a potential pullback. You guys can see that SPY is rejecting from this key level of 683.78. SPY must get back above that level or it is going to get bad. We have multiple gap fills to the downside on the daily time frame, and we have a potential macro bear flag in play. You have this drop down from the Trump tariff scare, this bearish consolidation, and a potential move for another leg down. I told you guys this is coming. You could also see that we have MACDs becoming bearish on the bigger time frames and a sell signal on the 4-hour time frame here on SPY. It looks like we're going to be pulling back here in the later half of the week. It looks like we could see a move down. If we break below 681.68, you could see a decent move to the downside. So be aware of that level. Remember, SPY must break above 683.78 in order to be bullish. My macro prediction is basically saying that we're going to consolidate a little bit longer and then drop down here in the later half of the week. It looks like tomorrow is potentially set up for a decent bearish move. So we want to be very, very careful. If SPY loses that 681.68, you could definitely see a dump to the downside towards 679.23. You guys can see we're getting a lot of bearish signals. I was able to show you guys the prediction here for today's live stream. It tracked perfectly. SPY made this rising wedge, dropped down. It's finding support in this overall channel right now, and it's figuring out which way it's going to go. But if it's not able to get back above that key level of 683.78, it's going to drop down hard. Now, even if it does get above that, it could just have a pop to the upside and pull back. But overall, on the macro, SPY is looking bearish to me, and it looks like we're going to have a potential red week here for SPY. You guys can see right now we are only up slightly on the week right now, but if we lose that key level of major support and resistance, we're definitely going to drop down, and RSI is overbought on the weekly and the monthly time frame. So again, this is why I think we could see a decent correction. Also, we're seeing stocks at their highest valuations. Most stocks like Apple and Nvidia are all, tech stocks are all at very, very high valuations, at all-time highs, or right around all-time highs. Also, the concentration of everything being in the tech stocks, and then of course the overall economy not doing good, the job market slowing down, consumer spending slowing down while inflation is increasing, is showing that the stock market is really detached from fundamentals. And this is all signs for a potential correction of at least 10%, but we could have something as large as 20% or more at this rate because we've just been going up for so long. Again, with the rate cuts being priced in, this is not looking good, and this is why I think we could be seeing the market potentially top and start to pull back, especially if we break down out of this bear flag. We're going to be coming down, filling these two gaps. Now, once we do that, we may be able to continue up, but in my personal opinion, it's looking really, really frothy, and we might need to see a decent correction here. We really want to watch for an end of the year market rally, which normally takes place, but if everybody's thinking that coming, that could be around the time where we start to see the pullback, especially if everyone's expecting that. We're going to be watching the key levels and everything going on here, but right now, SPY looks like it's set up for a bearish day, especially if it's not able to break back above 683.78 and hold that level. You're going to see a move to the downside towards 680 and maybe as low as 677.07. This is what we're looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on for crypto. So BTC, I've seen a lot of people confused about what's going on. They really don't understand how intertwined everything is. Liquidity is drying up. We've seen that here in the articles. BTC is a very liquid asset. It can be sold and turned directly into USD, US dollars, which is what you need to post collateral for margin, or AKA liquidity. So when SPY pulls back, when the market pulls back, Bitcoin is sold as liquidity. It's also seen as a risk asset still. So it's going to be one of the first assets that gets run off the balance sheet. So Bitcoin is getting sold as liquidity. Also, again, me personally, like I said, it's finite, Bitcoin especially. I'm not selling my BTC. If I do see pullbacks, I will be grabbing potential downside targets. Okay, if SPY crashes or Bitcoin crashes, are going to be 103 and 98K. So 103K and 98K are potential targets. The overall fractal shows that we could be starting to break down here soon. There is a lot of buy orders for BTC around 106 all the way down to 96K. What the fractal shows is we kind of consolidate, pop up, hit this sell order, and then drop down. But as long as we're above this overall trend line, we're still in a bull market. That is the bull market trend line for BTC. As long as we are above it, we're still in a bull market. Now, if we go below that trend line, we're definitely going to see a correction down. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. That way you know exactly what's going on. The reason why we focus on BTC so much is because it controls the altcoins. Guys, you can see that Bitcoin's market cap is 2.1 trillion. The entire crypto market cap is 3.6 trillion. Bitcoin is basically all of the crypto market. And this is why I said it's one of the most important. Also, it's proof of work, and it has the fixed cap, and it has the halving built in. So again, with all of these tokenomics making it scarce, creating scarcity, and then also helping with supply and demand in the market, I believe that Bitcoin is going to be worth astronomically more, especially with the US inflation. Simply like hard assets like houses that are limited, scarce, these like gold, those things, that's why they're increasing, is because the fiat dollar is not backed by anything. So this is why I think Bitcoin, by the time I'm ready to sell 2040, 2035, when I'm ready to retire, because that's how I'm looking at this thing as a long-term investment, it will be worth astronomically more than when I bought it, because it's going to hold value better than the US dollar, which is being printed and then inflated, and then the value of it coming down. So again, this is why the fixed cap is so important, and proof of work is so important as well. You can't just print it out of thin air. You actually have to do something to get it. Now, coins like XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, ADA, I think are going to be fine. Cardano, ADA is definitely taking a hit. You want to be careful with this one. But I think as the crypto market matures, you're going to see the top altcoins really shine. And then all of these obscure altcoins, you might see outliers here and there, are going to really start to fade out, especially as this market matures. You guys going to see Ethereum still in the falling wedge, still tracking. We definitely want to see if we get a bounce here. If we get a bounce, there's still hope for some upside here. And that could also correlate with this upside move that we're looking at for BTC. But that could just be a top. It does look like Bitcoin is topping, in my personal opinion, looking at everything on a macro level. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we did get one more pop up for like whales to exit, maybe a drop down, like a quick scare drop down, and then a pop to the upside for whales to exit, and then go into kind of a bear market. That wouldn't be surprising. Now, by a bear market, I don't mean crashing down. We'd probably come to like 65K, 40K at the absolute lowest, which would be an absolute steal. But I believe, just like Bitcoin has been doing, we'll probably use the previous bull market top as the bear market bottom. So I don't want to break it all down here, but basically BTC rallies up, makes a bull market, drops down, goes into a bear market, and then it goes to another bull market. That top from the previous bull market is the bottom for the next bear market. And I believe that we'll see something similar to that, where once we top out here, this top from this bull market will be the bottom of the next bear market. So we'll be coming down to like 60, 40K around that range, and then bouncing once we break below this trend line, in my personal opinion. So if we do see BTC pull back, you're going to see the rest of the altcoins pull back. Right now, XRP is on sale. Anything under $2.50 is a buy for me, in my personal opinion, for XRP. If XRP is able to break back a hold $2.50, that could be a sign of recovery. But right now we have a ton of sell orders. With Bitcoin dumping, you're going to see altcoins dump. That's why you're seeing Ethereum down, Cardano ADA down. That's why you're seeing altcoins across the board down, because Bitcoin itself is down. Again, with Bitcoin being most of the market cap, it is going to be what controls the market. So if Bitcoin goes up, altcoins will be able to go up. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins are going to go down. And you guys can see altcoins are absolutely flushing. This is also why most of my portfolio is BTC, because Bitcoin is only down about 1.36%, but some altcoins are down 10, 20, 30%, ladies and gentlemen. So again, this is also why BTC is most of my portfolio, and why it's one of my top coins, obviously my favorite coins, and why altcoins only make up about 45 to 50% of my portfolio, and BTC itself is 50% of my portfolio, because it blocks me from moves like this. So ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button and subscribe if you found this video informative. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Thank you guys for all of the love on today's live stream. We do have a Discord that is worth $100 for a lifetime invite. Once you make payment, I'll send you the link to get in. Exclusive technicals, predictions, and exclusive community trying to help each other out, learn to trade, find different trades, and post information. If you're want to get involved in that, hit me up at my email, DataZeroOfficial5. Thank you guys for everything. If you just want to support the channel for free, hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, fam.